Hi everybody and welcome back to the Language Reading Improvement Program Fortnightly Video Training Sessions. I trust that you all had a good break during the holidays and are now ready to get into the content of Term 2. Remember, these training sessions are designed to assist you in effectively using the LRIP resources in your day-to-day teaching. Please don't forget to complete a brief pretest to measure your understanding of the content for this 2-week cycle. You will also complete a post-test at the end of this training session. Once again, teachers, thank you for working together with us to improve learner performance in our classrooms. The content for Term 2, Week 1 and 2 is poetry. Let's take a look at the expectations per skill for this 2-week cycle. For the listening and speaking skill, the learners are expected to listen to a poem and speak about a poem. For the reading and viewing skill, the learners are expected to read a poem. For the writing and presenting skill, the learners will write their own poems. And for the language structures and conventions skill, the learners will cover nouns, simple sentences, and figures of speech used in poetry. Included in the LRIP package are lesson plans for every 2-week cycle. These lesson plans explain explicitly what the expectations are per skill. Within the 2-week cycle, you may use 2 hours to complete the listening and speaking skills. For the listening component, learners must listen to a poem being read to them while they take down notes. You are expected to read the poem to them a few times so that they may make sufficient notes. They will then be expected to answer questions based on the poem that was read to them and use the notes to assist them. You will then mark the answers and do the necessary corrective work. Now, don't forget to do the speaking component of the skill, in which you ask the learners to discuss the central idea with their partners. You may also have some fun with your learners whereby they perform a few lines of the poem for the class. Don't forget to have evidence in the learner's notebook of both the listening and speaking activities that were done. We need to be able to see the evidence when we do syllabus coverage verification. Within the listening and speaking skill, you will teach some language structures and convention concepts. Included in your package are notes on abstract nouns, concrete nouns, and compound nouns. We have also included teaching support materials in the PowerPoint presentations in your package so that you may make use of them when teaching these concepts. As you can see, this slide covers abstract and concrete nouns, while this slide covers compound nouns. And this brings us to the reading and viewing skill. For this skill, you have a total of 5 hours to cover all the components within a 2-week cycle. For Term 2, Week 1 and 2, your learners will be reading poetry. You are expected to teach them the elements and the features of a poem. Now, included in your LRIP package are sufficient notes and explanations on the features and the elements of poetry, ranging from the format and structure right up to the figures of speech used in poetry. Now, don't forget to do the necessary pre-reading activities as well as the reading for meaning strategies listed in the ATP. You will also do a post-reading activity whereby learners will answer questions based on the poem. Lastly, for this skill, your learners will be expected to complete a read-aloud activity. Again, don't forget to ensure that you have evidence of all these activities in the learners' books. These are some of the support resources that are included in your package. When teaching learners the format or the structure of a poem, it's always easier to understand by annotating on an actual poem to indicate what constitutes a line in poetry, what makes up a stanza, and how to identify rhyming words. Here we have more notes and examples of rhyming words, and we kept it very simple for our grade 4 learners. These slides may be used in your teaching as it is part of your LRIP package. Included in your package are activities for the learners to do to see whether they are able to identify rhyming words. We have also included slides to assist you in teaching the poetic elements such as the figures of speech. For this 2-week cycle, you will teach rhyming words as shown before and personification as well as alliteration. Now let's take a look at what you will be doing for the writing and presenting skill. You have 2 hours within your 2-week cycle to complete the skill. So, what will our junior Shakespeares be writing? Well, poetry, of course. For writing and presenting, our grade 4s will be expected to write their own poem using simple sentences. We will be using our DBE workbooks for this component. As always, no matter what the writing activity, we must adhere to the writing processes. Learners will brainstorm ideas for their poem in their DBE workbook. Thereafter, they will write a first draft in their class workbooks. They will proofread and edit their poems. And finally, they will write the poem on page 61 of the DBE workbook. We have also included a reminder of what simple sentences are, so that the lines in our little poet's poems are made up of simple sentences. As you have seen in this training video, and as you will see in the lesson plans included in your LRIP package, you have been guided as to which language structures and convention concept to teach in the various other skills. Remember, we teach language structures and conventions within context, and we test language structures and conventions within context. Please make use of the reading improvement resources and strategies included in this package. Included in your package are ideas on how to have a reading race, where learners will count how many words they are able to read in 30 seconds. Remember, we always encourage you to have a print-rich classroom for the 2-week period, and you may have examples of poems on the walls. Nothing stops you from putting the learners' poems on the walls. Remember to have a word wall for the 2-week cycle with the relevant vocabulary. You are expected to use your DBE workbook for this 2-week cycle, and kindly use your PowerPoint presentations to assist you in your teaching. Okay team, that brings me to the end of this training session. Don't forget to complete the post test, and all the best for term 2. Goodbye everybody.